A lot of producers be out there pocket checking and all in my business, asking, hey Curtis, man, why you don't submit your beats to major label artists anymore? Y'all still like E40. Ugh. Producers, let me tell you the reason why I stopped submitting my beats to major label artists and why I decided, you know what, it's just not for me. When I was submitting my beats to major label artists, I was doing it for over 10 years, right? There was 10 years, every single year, me trying to get into studios, me going to somebody else's scheduling. I mean, doing sessions between 2 a.m. to, I don't know, 6 a.m. because rappers decided that they had to go party or maybe they had a show and this is the only time they want to get in the studio. And I would drive all the way out to LA to handle these sessions. I would drive out there, and I live literally about an hour away from LA, out here in the Inland Empire. I would drive out there and I was dedicated. And in my mind, I was convinced that this was the grind that required for me to get placements on a regular basis. But what I found was that the more I started to travel out there, the more that I started to politic, that one, the industry is a very political industry, and it really is about who you know. But even who you know is not enough sometimes. Who you know just may get you an invitation in the room. You could even know the man that's the man, but he could be the man sitting next to the man. You could even know the damn man, and he's like, yo, you dope, but this guy's doper, so I'm gonna work with him. And there's situations where I would go there investing my time and, I thought I was living the dream and I just had to wake the fuck up one day. And what I realized was that I'm putting all this energy and exerting all this emotion, all this heartbreak on something that I am not in control of. I mean, even when I got some placements, when I got the placements, and then I remember I smiled the first time I received my check for one of my first placements, and then I went to the check cashing place, and I was so excited I didn't even check how much I got paid, and then I looked, and it was like, oh, this is dope, but how am I gonna pay for the bills that I've been missing out on for the last 5 months because I was waiting on this placement, thinking it was gonna be bigger. So really between the politics, between me not making enough income, between me looking at it and saying, this is not sustainable for you, boy. For me looking at that and saying, on top of that, I don't feel like a businessman. I don't feel like a man in that situation a lot of the times. And I'm not passing judgment on anybody that wants to go for placements. This was my personal struggle. This is my personal struggle. I'm not passing judgment on you. You do what you gotta do, especially you gotta have the career you wanna have. Me, on the other hand, I felt like I was somebody's employee waiting quarter to quarter for them to pay me so that I could pay my back bills and my back car notes. And then I got cars repoed because I waited too long. And that was all my fault, baby. That was my fault. But then one day I woke up and it wasn't by my own choice. It was that life behind me was starting to unravel once again. And life was like, bruh, get it together, brother. Get it together or this is over with. You can't never do music again. So when I had my back against the wall, I hit up one of my buddies who I knew was very successful in this, my homie Awesome. I always give him props, always show him love because I will never forget the gesture of him just sharing some of his knowledge about the beat listing industry and a lot of the myths that were associated with it. I was afraid to lease my beats. I was afraid because I looked at it and I said, man, what is that gonna make me look like to all these major label artists that are willing to pay out this amount of money? What is that gonna look like if I'm leasing my beats out for so cheap? And all these other rappers who are not up to my particular par, we already talked about that, they're not up to my par. What is that gonna look like for my business and my reputation? And you know what I realized? The people that I was worried about looking stupid in front of didn't give a damn about me. And I didn't really give a damn about their opinion. I thought I did. I held my value within other people and within their business and their way of doing things. And then I figured out very easily that it didn't bring me much happiness. And something that doesn't bring you much happiness, if you continue to do it, at some point you're doing it to yourself. So for me, I had to make a decision, and what I found was that in the first 2 months of leasing my beats, I accumulated more income than I did the last 10 years of leasing my beats. Whoa, something had to change. I was curious enough about this business that it made me say, you know what, not only do I not have to go into these late night studios, I mean, I don't have no problem going to late night studios. I do love my sleep, but I love going to late night studios when it's great energy. But It's a leap of faith. And sometimes you gotta do that for what you want. If you want placements, you gotta do it. But for me, I wanted control over my life. I wanted control over my finances. So I made the decision to go into business for myself. And I tell you, the more that I started going into business for myself, the less appealing that looked over there. Because when you look at it, I had a DJ tell me, my homie DJ Gabriel, he's a veteran in this. He told me, he said, you know, even for placements that you don't get paid for, you got to look at them as like a billboard on the 405 freeway, which is the most popular freeway out here on the West Coast. You got to look at it like it's a billboard on the freeway. And I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And it does give me maximum exposure, but there's never been a time that I got a placement and then hella beat sales started coming through my store. No. A lot of these customers meet me because of the advertisement dollars I put behind my own business. That makes me feel strong. That makes me feel like a man. That makes me feel like I'm a businessman. It makes me feel like an entrepreneur that I was meant to be. And I think that what God was teaching me, and I don't mean to put my religious beliefs on you. You know, in this so politically correct world, you got to say things like that. I don't mean to put my religious beliefs on you, but what I'm seeing is that this literally, I had the opportunity to take control of this. I had an opportunity to take heed of this, and I wasn't doing it. And every time I wasn't doing it, more heartbreak came, more pain came. And I kept justifying in my mind, I'm paying dues, I'm paying dues. And it was like, well, at what point do you realize you're no longer paying dues and you're just getting your ass whooped for not listening? So then I listened, and then life changed like that. Once again, it's another Curtspiration. Doodle. If you need some more of this juice, please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. Hey. Feel like Lil Pump. Hey, Lil Pump. If you need some more of this juice, I already said that, didn't I? Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Patreon supporters, thank you for supporting the campaign. We really appreciate you. We are growing as a channel, growing as a community, and this is all because of you. Patreon.com/CurtisKing. If you want to donate, if you want to be a Patreon member, rappers, if you want one free beat a month, producers, if you want to get a consultation a month, 30 minutes, go to my Patreon.com, get the Roscoe the Taco campaign, and go ahead and rock with your boy one time. But to reiterate on this topic, why did I stop pursuing placements? Because I didn't feel right. It didn't feel congruent with the man that I am. It didn't feel like the entrepreneur that I was supposedly supposed to be. So I stopped doing it. And the funny thing about it is when I stopped doing it, then I had opportunities that started to come to me. Thank God for the man that's my big brother Murs for giving me the opportunity to work with one of my favorite rappers who is E40. And I was able to get that placement with Murs and E40 because I was operating at a higher level. My energy's at a different place. Even the beats I'm making are a lot better because I'm not worried about, man, how do I fit on a T.I. album? Oh man, what am I gonna do? And to me, I was like, who cares? Make the music you're supposed to make, and if it happens to fit in the mold, it happens to fit. If not, just keep being the best thing that you can be and keep growing. In this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com.
I can't listen to you. When I listen to you, it's a liability. Cause you be mentally killing my inner energy. So I'm concealing my feelings before you injure me.